And you mentioned, Hasney, that contact you had with Louis van Gaal, Mourinho. How much is what you do on the day-to-day based on the first team in terms of, like you said, about working closely with Marcus Rashford? When Marcus Rashford is at the age to sort of break into the first team, are you told certain instructions in terms of how the team is set up at that time, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no, listen, I think the academy system itself was almost umbrellaed, right? So because of the productivity and the volume of players that always came through at Man United, the club had a big trust in what we were doing was right. It was I guess when you get to a certain age, you're going to start linking in like with Mace, with Marcus, with a lot of other players. When you get into that point of, is he going to go up and train with them? Is where are we at with it? Is he now finally going to flee the nest and go? You're almost getting to a point where that moment of transitioning up to that, the journey doesn't stop. It's just making sure we're marrying up with where it's still that linear idea of like Marcus needs, he's going to still learn how to score goals, his timing of runs, his hold-up plays, his receiving skills. That kind of profile goes up to the first team, and it doesn't just get left there. So there's obviously loads of discussion, loads of meetings. So, for example, that would be a perfect example of like, you're not just left to go there and it stops. It's the journey's ongoing. I think they've got it really good now at United when they hear about it. Yep. That would be an example of when you're transitioning through and you're moving through into that world, it doesn't stop. The development is continued. And I think that's what United have been outstanding at, is that it's a process. It's still, you haven't got to the first team and it's done. And there's consistent discussion. There's a lot of awareness of what the qualities, the strengths are, areas of improvement. And that almost the individual development plan is continued throughout with the first team. So it's a smooth process when they move forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, there's that brilliant stat that United have always had academy players in the first team. I think it goes back decades and decades. What do you think is the key to that? Do you think it is about those values that Sir Alex had and the principles?
I think if you look at the club's mission statement, is very much, youth is almost the fundamental reason the club's there, and it's all geared around the Busby Babes and obviously the class of '92. The onus of the club is to make sure that we have homegrown players coming. Well, I'm not there now, but they have homegrown players, and the pathway should always be open for players to get through from the academy, and that's what we want. That's what they want in terms of they expect players to come through, and that means by excellent coaching, excellent people who have got the experience there. There's still people there from when I was a kid, so people who know how that operates. Managers that come in, they understand what they're coming into. It's not we're going to close up and it's just all this is how I want to do it. The club is joined up from the academy. The academy is almost the most important part of the club. The DNA of Man United is to bring players through, and doesn't matter if you're young enough, you're old enough, you're good enough, whatever it is. It's a famous saying from Sir Matt Busby was, if you're good enough, you're old enough. So it doesn't. Age is not a problem. It's got to be almost a fundamental pillar within the club, is to make sure that the talent is allowed to flourish and to get through. And it's been amazing. Obviously, I've seen it firsthand. It was, whoever came in when Sir Alex Ferguson left, and it was David Moyes, and then it was obviously Van Gaal and Mourinho. They knew what they were coming into. It wasn't, we're going to do it my way. It was the Man United way. And the Man United way is, yes, to buy the best players in the world and get them in and showcase that, but also backed up and supported by the best talent within the academy. And that's still going now, and long may it continue, because it's amazing to see. I was just looking the other day. There's a lot of players in that first team. Kobe Mainu played the other day in a practice game. I know played last season. So there's a lot of players that are about to, I think, shine as well. I think there's some outstanding talent in that system that will get opportunities.